There was an idea to rewatch every MCU project in the lead up to Avengers Doomsday. This idea is called the MCU Rewatch Initiative. Are you ready? Hey everyone, it's me, Disco Dave, and we're on the MCU Rewatch Initiative episode 2, which means it's time for the Incredible Hulk. I just finished rewatching the film, and my quick reactions to watching the film, I think it's pretty good. Is it the best Marvel film? Definitely not, but I've always enjoyed watching this film. I remember watching this in cinemas back in 2008 when it came out, and I think it's an enjoyable film. If I could, I would mess around in the multiverse and see the Mark Ruffalo version of this film. But Edward Norton did help rewrite some of the script during filming, so this film wouldn't be what it was without Edward Norton. So can't really take that away from him. And Edward Norton is a pretty good actor, so they did what they could with this film. It's a sort of reboot sequel to the Ang Lee's Incredible Hulk that came out in 2003. And for what it is meant to be, I think it's quite enjoyable. But I'm going to quickly cut to my reactions of the film. So we'll watch that now. Go, Hulk smash! Thunderbolt Ross is there. And then in what? 17 years time? Oh, with the red hand. Foreshadowing. And this film makes me care about Betty Ross, because I've never cared about Betty. I don't know if it's the actress. Stark Industries. Ooh. This must have been cool. If you've just seen Iron Man, you go to this and you're like, ooh, Stark. You're like, oh, it's connections. Yeah, it's been here for 5 months. I feel like Bruce would be a lot quicker at learning languages. I know he's a busy man. He's got to control his anger most of the time. I don't know if this was how Red Hulk got created. Someone had a little busy bottle, and then like that became Red Hulk. That's it. Don't make me hungry. I think that's a bad line. Don't make me hungry. Don't do it. Mr. Blue. It's just so crazy that we got this guy to come back after 17 years and Bruce Banner's not even a part of it when you had Red Hulk in there as well. Stan! Woo! Stan! No, Stan, no! Did he just die? He has a wig! Man's just got a fake wig. That's the same woman? She lives a couple floors down. Hey. He's got a little bit of Riz, that Banner Riz. And William Hurt's so good as his character. Does he say again now? But I'm hungry, please. Don't make me hungry. Oh, there we go. Let's go. Miss some classic Hulk action. Like, it's good that his character developed. Absolutely, but you know, you miss some classic Hulk. Some people say that this is the best the Hulks look. I would definitely not. Avengers is quite out there with the best the Hulks ever looked. Blonsky's just a badass. He's like, I don't give a fuck if it's a Hulk, I'm going for him. This is just an awesome scene as well. I like how everything's green. There's so much green going on. There we go. He's angry. Not developed stretchy pants yet. Me waking up after a heavy sesh. That's a crazy shot. Alright, Tobey Maguire. Hey, Lou Ferrigno. Obviously the original Hulk from the 80s TV show. I'm locked in, man. This film, I like this film. Oh, I've always liked this film. The next shot of him running, yeah, it's fucking sick. I don't give a fuck. Was she not seen before? The first time seeing it? Oh. And no bullets don't do anything to him. Just annoy him. This is so good. Come on, that's so fucking sick. Oh, but he kicks him. Oh, oh yeah. Oh, what about that? Oh shit. Hi, buddy. I remember at such an early days, everyone was like, "Oh, this is Thor in the sky pissing off the Hulk," or at least like the thunder in the sky is why the Hulk doesn't like Thor and like punches him a lot. This film just makes me like thinking of Brave New World. I'm like, I was waiting for this guy. Wanted the big head. We had the big head and they took the big head away from us. What I'm saying is that if we I forgot that he helps them become the abomination. Inside you already. The mixture could be an abomination. Let's go. Oh. We're in the end game now. Yeah, come on. Fucking sick. The Hulk hands with the fucking cars. I think in the video game, that's what you're able to do. That's fucking sick. Car hands. I realize he's naked. Ew. Oh. Oh, the fucking thunderclap? Fuck yeah. Smash! Let's go! Boom! Okay, buddy. We'll never see Mark, well, the whole Bruce Banner interact with Betty ever again. Me! Way! Me, I always forgets me. Like, because it wasn't even a post-credits, that's why I saw it. Because if this scene was at the end of the film, I wouldn't know about it. Putting together a team. I was like, what team? And I was like, okay, and I need to rush home and figure out what is going on. And we're back. So let's quickly talk about the characters that are in this film. We got Bruce Banner, Faye, Thunderbolt Ross, Emil Blonsky, and Samuel Stern comes in at the end. I think the cast is, for the most part, pretty great. The only one that kind of let the side down is Liv Tyler. I've not seen anything else that Liv Tyler's in. I don't know if this is kind of the performance she kind of gives, someone like a bit more soft-spoken, even though she does flare up later in the film, a bit more angrier. But I just think she doesn't hold a candle to everyone else who's like at the top of their game. Like Edward Norton's really good, Thunderbolt Ross is really good, William Hurt's delivering a fantastic performance. That's why he carries on so much later down the MCU. Tim Roth is an amazing Emil Blonsky. Rewatching this whole film, I forgot. Well, I knew he's a good villain, but I just forgot how good of a character he is. From day dot, when he's introduced to the film to the very end, he's out for the Hulk. He is determined. He's ruthless. He keeps up with the Hulk no matter if he's in human form or later when he's Abomination. Like, Tim Roth sells this character. And if it's quickly become that combo, definitely going to be quite high up there when we are ranking villains in the MCU. I think they're such a good pairing. And yeah, I like Edward Norton's Hulk. Like, we got him for one film, and for this film, he does pretty well playing the Bruce who is hiding, trying to figure out how he can control the Hulk. Because the fact that there's a reboot, I think it's supposed to summarize that the experiment at the start was like the one time he's gone Hulk, and then he's immediately gone into hiding, like down in Brazil. So he wasn't like spending multiple years as Hulk. That's kind of what I grabbed from it. But he plays Bruce Banner quite well. I prefer Mark Ruffalo's take once we get to Avengers. But for this film, I think it works for the storyline they have. And Samuel Stern's later in the film, he's quite memorable. That's what made me like excited to see him later in the MCU. And we'll get to that when we get to Brave New World later, where I fought the leader. But I thought it was an exciting origin story for Samuel Stern as the leader. But yeah, we'll get into that and Brave New World. But that'll be many episodes later. So let's get into the plot of the film, and we'll talk about my favorite scenes, things that stood out to me. So we start off. La la la. We start off with the opening montage. This kind of retells the Ang Lee's story. So if you watch that film, you kind of get what's going on, but this is the first introduction to the MCU, so that film is not canon anymore. But it took like the basic idea of that experiment gone wrong. So Bruce is testing out the Captain America Super Soldier Serum for himself. And the gamma radiation goes off the charts, and we get Hulk. I think it's a good way to get that little introduction story, because at this point the Hulk is like one of the big three characters for Marvel, like Spider-Man, Wolverine, the Hulk. Everyone knows who the Hulk is. You kind of get the idea of like his origin story. So that quick little montage in the start works super well for this film. And then we're introduced in Thunderbolt Ross and Betty. I think at this point, Betty doesn't see what Bruce has turned into. It comes as a revelation later on in the film. But then we cut Bruce hiding out in Brazil, in the slums, and then he's working in a factory. I think this is where, pretty early on, he cuts himself, and then that his blood seems like he got the ball that the blood hit, but it didn't, and then Stanley ends up drinking it. They say he died in the news report, I think, but we never see if maybe his blood caused him to Hulk out, or maybe just he drank it and then died. In my head canon, he hulked out, and that canonizes the Lego video game where Stanley character can turn into the Hulk. So in my head, that Stanley turned into a Hulk on the street. We see Bruce communicating to Mr. Blue throughout this, who you find out the end is Daniel Stearns. But basically, he needs his blood, and he's kind of like hesitant to do so. But I think, it's through the messages of Bruce and Mr. Blue, Ross is able to track him down, and I think he drops Shield, like, Shield reads over everyone's messages, so we get a hit, we'll know where Bruce is. And I think that's what happens. I think we get a little scene in the factory where these like goons are like annoying a girl, and then Bruce Banner, being a hero, comes over and we're like, leave her alone, bitch. And he says one of my favorite lines in this film: "You wouldn't like me when I'm hungry," because he's still learning Spanish. It's kind of one of the things I picked up in the film. Like, Bruce Banner is meant to be like one of the smartest people in the MCU, the Marvel characters. I feel like he'd be a bit better picking up new languages. Maybe new languages are even hard for super geniuses. I don't know. I'm not good at learning languages. I thought Bruce Banner might be a bit quick. He's still learning. So Shield is able to figure out where Bruce is. So Thunderbolt Ross is like, let's get a team in there. General sends a special task force led by Emil Blonsky. Like I said already, Emil Blonsky is amazing in this film. I know he comes back later in Shang-Chi and She-Hulk, but I like this version of Emil Blonsky where he's like out on a mission and he's determined he's a bad guy. I can't remember what happens with his character in She-Hulk. I don't know if there's a revelation he's actually bad this whole time. So that's going to be interesting when we watch She-Hulk, because like, he's like meeting place with other people with powers, but I can't remember if it was a revelation that he was bad. I can't quite remember. So we'll figure that out in a few episodes time, what happens with his character in She-Hulk. But in this film, he fucking rocks, and I wish we were able to get him on like a Thunderbolts team or like a villain team. He is so good in this role. We have our first like action scene in this film, set in the factory. I love the staging of this. You see like when Bruce is trying to control it, he's like, his heart monitor is going up, and then it hits 200 and he hulks out, but he's in the shadows, so the Hulk is like this mysterious monster. Get quick glimpses of it. I love the way it's set. Everything in the factory is green, like the balls are green, the lasers are green. I just love how this is filmed. The director of this film, by the way, it's a French director that I didn't know went on to make the latest Fast and Furious films, and did Now You See Me as well. So another Mark Ruffalo connection there. I wonder if he would wanted Mark Ruffalo in the role, since he worked with him in Now You See Me like 5 years after this film. But yeah, I really like the direction in this film. Director did a good job. His name is Louis Leterrier, French director. But yeah, did a really good job in this film. How did the scene end? Blonsky loses. Did he get hit by him? No. I think he just runs away. I think there's no. I think he tries to get close, but he's able to get away. I think that's how the scene ends. He gets away, and then Blonsky and the team go back to the US, and Blonsky's like, I will volunteer to get as many injections as I want. I want to take down this Hulk. So he uses like a prototype version of what they have of the super soldier serum. I love how we get this Captain America set up already, even though Captain America's a few films away. So we've got a lot of super soldier serum mentions, which if you're watching the film for the first time and you don't know who Captain America is, which have been a majority of the people watching this film back in 2008, you're like, what's that about? Don't know if Captain America name gets dropped during this part, or they just say super soldier serum. I can't remember. But yeah, so Mil Blonsky gets head injections, one in the spine. That's super gross. But basically, this enhances his abilities, which will come back when he sees the Hulk next. And then Banner, also on the run, he also heads back to the US and he goes to Culver University, was where Bay works, because he needs to get the data for Mr. Blue. Like he said a sample of his blood, and he said, yeah, this won't do at all. We need data. We need all like the gamma data and stuff like that. And like, oh, that's like the university. So he goes to get that. When he's on the back of the way to the US, there's a nice scene where he's at like a market, and then I say a good scene. It's a weird scene. He finds like these stretchy pants, and then he puts it over like this larger woman, and we're like, yeah, that will do. I thought that's a bit questionable if we had a scene like that nowadays. I think in 2008 that was we let it slide. But it's a funny thing. So he establishes he needs stretchy pants for the Hulk, but not purple ones. He won't wear purple ones later in the film. Purple will not do. This is, I think, Bruce is hiding out of this pizza place. We established this character. I don't remember his all. This guy runs a pizza place. Him and Bay are like best friends and all that stuff. We got the guy from Modern Family here, Phil Dunphy. He's like Bay's little side thing at the moment. So she gets a glimpse of Bruce, and then he runs away. But then I think this is when Thunderbolt Ross just comes to the university. I don't know if Bay sees him at this point, but Bruce is on the run. We get for me, a classic image where he's on the bridge, glass bridge. They throw smoke grenades, and see his eyes go green and transforms. And then Bay's just like seeing this from afar. She's like, "No, what are you doing?" And then the Hulk just bursts out. We get a This is like probably one of the best shots we get of him at this point of the film. Comes out full Hulk, ready to fucking smash. And this scene's so good because you see a Blonsky. Everyone's running towards him, but Blonsky's ahead of everyone because he's got that super speed now. He's enhanced, and he's ready to take down the Hulk. This is a really good battle. But it doesn't go too well for Blonsky because by the end of it, he just gets kicked, which I forgot as a brutal, just like straight up kick to his chest, and he just flies like 1,000 miles and hits a tree. It's like, oh, his bones are broken. I always like this scene because instead of a rocket launcher, and he basically used like his own version of his shield to like block them, and then they send out like sonic waves, and he uses those to like use them as a barrier. Love like this shield is like a common theme throughout this early MCU. Obviously, we've got Organization, we've got Captain America. Hulk is now using a shield. Everyone is shielding up. It's all about defense, and then he uses it as a frisbee to destroy those sonic waves. But this is a really, really cool scene. I love this scene so much. Yeah, this is where he flees with Betty. I think the guy tries to stop her, and then she's like comes back in the pouring rain, like, Bruce, you're coming with me. So they get out of there. Phil Dunphy is left. But even with Thunderbolt Ross is like, where do they go? He doesn't back down. He's like, I'm not telling you, bro. Which I thought was a interesting choice. You feel like most movies that side piece would be like, oh yeah, I'll snitch on him. But he was like, no, I'm not gonna tell you. Like, good for you, Phil Dunphy. So now we're in the final act of the film. Bruce finally meets Mr. Blue. We get to New York City. Before we land in New York City, and then scene I totally forgot about. They get into a taxi and they're like, oh, this should be fine. And this guy just zooming through New York, and his heart rate is like, Bruce is like, oh fuck. And then when they get out of the taxi, Bay just fucking screams at him. This is like my only favorite Bay film throughout the entire film. That just screams at him. And I'm like, oh, cool. Liv Tyler, you got some range in this character. Let's use that. Don't whisper every line of dialogue like she does throughout the entire film. I'm not sure at what point there's also news broadcasting. I think this is after they leave the university. The Hulk finally gets his name from a uni student, I think. Is what they're trying to imply. Because the guy, this kid is like, oh yeah, there's some big, huge things, some kind of Hulk. I feel like that was the first name drop. I don't feel Thunderbolt Ross referred to him as Hulk the entire time. It was always like, Banner, we gotta get Banner. So apparently this uni student on the news created the name Hulk. That's what the film says, because I don't remember Hulk being said prior to that guy saying it. So that's the origin of the name Hulk. Some guy at the campus was just like, yeah, it looks like a Hulk. And then, yeah, so we finally meet Samuel Stearns. Obviously, this guy becomes the leader. But he's super excited about me and Bruce. Excited to experiment. They strap him down, and I forget about this. He transforms like fully, and he's still somehow able. Like the chair is big enough to hold him. But the whole time, Samuel Stearns' eyes are like lit up, like, oh, this is beautiful. He's like mesmerized by the Hulk. But he's able to like cure him for a little bit. Like the cure actually does work. He's like, sweet, we're on a roll. The Stern reveal he's been replicating Bruce's blood. Like he has like 50 odd blood samples. He was like, I sent you one. I'm like, you only sent me a little, so I had to like replicate it a bunch. But Bruce is like, nah, bro, you can't keep my blood. This is like dangerous stuff. You have to destroy it. Blonsky, because in my head, the early experiments with him was like, no. So I think the Super Soul Serum is able to like heal him, but it's not until he goes over to Stern and gets like the Hulk blood, that's when he goes Abomination. So it's like a mix of everything. I just thought in my head it was just one thing he kept taking, but he was taking it too much. That's what turned into Abomination. I forgot it was the combination with this prototype super soldier and the Hulk's blood. That's what turned into Abomination. I just forgot about that fact. I thought he was just taking too many of the same thing. That's what overwhelmed his body, became Abomination. That was a cool thing I forgot. That it's actually a mix of all this stuff that turns into Abomination. That makes a bit more sense. But yeah, because they get there, they arrest Bruce, and then on the sideline, Mill is talking to Samuel Stearns. We're like, dude, you gotta help me out. Be like, yeah, man, I don't mind helping you out. But obviously, he warned him. But obviously, he wasn't listening. And then Abomination goes on a rampage in Harlem. I forgot it was Harlem. In my head, it was like, oh, he goes on a rampage in Manhattan. I don't know why I thought Manhattan, but yeah, he goes to Harlem. I don't remember if the Luke Cage series ever referenced this battle or not. They must have, right? But once I eventually do a Defenders rewatch, we'll find out until they ever reference the Hulk. Because they always bring up like, oh, the Battle of Harlem. Because they bring them back up in Civil War. So yeah, they get a little showdown in Harlem. But for all of that showdown to happen, Bruce has had to be let go from the helicopter. So we get like a big hero moment for Bruce. He jumps out of the helicopter and lands, and he doesn't transform. He's like halfway through, it's like, because he's been cured, but like, yeah, I'm sure the Hulk will be released. Hits the ground, and it looks like it doesn't get transformed. And he died. So it's very similar to Thor Ragnarok situation where he jumps out of the ship ready to fight a big wolf, and then he doesn't transform, hits the rainbow bridge and slides off, then turns into the Hulk. So it's cool having that parallel from that first film to Thor Ragnarok of Bruce trying to jump out and be a hero, show his powers, and then both times it just doesn't work. Obviously he turns into the Hulk, and then the Abomination fight happens. In terms of the Abomination design, it's alright. It's just like when this fight happens, it's very you can see the age of it. You can see it's like 2008, and we haven't perfectly figured out CG on CG fights. I don't think we're in. Sometimes we're not even there now, depending on the movie. Like Black Panther Final Battle, it was very that when the two similar things fighting, it would help a lot more if Abomination had a standout color. But in the comics, he's more bluey gray Abomination. In this film, I couldn't tell what even color they were going for. It's more gray, yellow tingy, greeny. But and then the Hulk in this film is not like the saturated green there. It's more of a washed out bit of a green. So they look very similar, and obviously their bodies are very similar. So it didn't stand out as much as it should. But this is also a very fun fight. You get one of my favorite bits when the Hulk grabs two police cars, breaks them apart, and then he has police car hands and he's fighting with those. It's very much like the PS2 game. We could use something similar. Then we get to up higher. Bay's and Ross's helicopter is about, and then I don't know how it crashes. It crashes at one point, and then somehow Abomination is able to get on fire, and then Hulk had to do like a thunderclap to get the fire out. That was a fucking sick moment. Obviously, this is where we get the iconic Hulk smash line. I don't know if that's in the first 2003 film or not, but this is like iconic Hulk smash. He says the line, beats up Abomination, about to strangle him, and then Bay like calms him down. I think that's it. Bruce almost kills him. He's basically like, nah, don't do it. Because Bay listens to him. He's like, Betty. And then he flies off into the night, jumps away, leaping into the night, yeah. And then we cut 2 weeks later. Bruce is in British Columbia, living a secluded life once again. So it kind of leads up to like that scene in Avengers where we meet up. He's secluded, put himself away. At least like those two elements of this end of the film and start of Avengers connect quite nicely. We get the scene where it looks like he's controlling his breathing like he is at the very start of the film. And then I think his heart rate's going up, and then it hits. See the green eyes, but instead of being like a scared, he smiles. So it's like a hint that he's got control of the Hulk, which we don't get at the start of the Avengers. It feels like the character arc kind of reset because he did have control of the Hulk. You know, by the end of the Avengers, he's like, "That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry." So he does have control. We were interested to rewatch Avengers. Like, how does that work with the Hulk again? Doesn't Hulk get possessed by controlled by Loki, so he's not in control? Or does the Hulk come out because they're attacking the plane? We have to think about that during the Avengers thing about Hulk's whole arc, if he's in control or not. Because at the end of this film, he seems like he's got it quite under control, literally. But at the very end, there's like a post credits. It's like before the credits, so it's not post credits, but it kind of is. Is what the post credits would be for this film. I guess no one stayed behind for the end of Iron Man 1, so maybe they were scared no one would do it for this film, so they put what would be a normal post credit scene before the credits. But it's a scene of Thunderbolt Ross in a bar drinking his sorrows away because he can't get the Hulk. But who walks in? Tony Stark himself. pulls up. He's like, "Yo, Ross, what's going on here?" And basically saying, "I'm putting team together." Obviously, hinting towards Avengers. But that was the whole film. Uh, Anything else I wanted to talk about? No, I don't think so. That was the whole plot of the film. Uh, as I said, it's a really enjoyable film. What stops it from being great, I think, is the Bay and Bruce relationship. I feel what really would have benefited this film was maybe just one flashback scene where we see Bruce and Bay before the experiment, just as we get they're a couple, they have this history, but we don't see that, you know? We had a scene where they were like beforehand, you feel more sympathetic to what's going on, like the Hulk is putting a barrier between what could be between them, even though she's trying to be understanding. She seems very understanding with Bruce bringing the Hulk. She was like pretty much straight away, yeah, don't hurt him, he's in there. We had that scene like where the rain's pouring down, they're in the cave, and she's able to connect to him straight away. Or if we had just a one flashback scene where we see them a relationship before, I think that would sort of benefit just to sell that relationship as a whole. Because as much as I don't like Bay Ross's character, I feel like it's just hard to invest in a relationship and just to care about them two and their struggles when we haven't seen them before that struggle happened. I feel like that would have benefited the film. But I like how the whole film's paced. It goes by very quickly. This was a very easy watch. Like I feel like we were into Act 3 before I knew it, and I liked those three separate fight scenes, those big action set pieces where you got the factory scene that was like Hulk is in the shadows. We got the middle scene in the uni where he's out and he can just go full Hulk, and then we got the hero versus big villain final showdown. Like, and those three, the pacing is so well done, and I'm excited for each of those big moments. Just those in betweens with Bruce and Bay, not my favorite, but I love what's going on with the villain side of the thing. This is the rare one where like probably the villains more than what's going on with our heroes, because we don't really get like side characters. Bruce doesn't have like random friends. You know, you got Samuel Stern, but he befriends Bruce, but then he's also turned out to be a bad guy and is happy to help the Abomination with his goals later on. But I love Thunderbolt Ross. He's so good. William Hurt is perfect casting for Thunderbolt Ross. It's a shame that the actor had to pass because he'd be so good. I wish we could see his version of him in Brave New World, but you know, these things happen. Recasting has to happen. It's just one of those things. But I love William Hurt as Thunderbolt Ross. He's such a standout. I wish we just got a little bit more of him in MCU. Obviously, he's in Civil War, but I feel like he could have been a bit more of a presence later on in the MCU because he's such a great character. You know, he just focuses on hunting down the Hulk. Maybe because we have enough like Hulk-centric storylines going on in the main films, like Avengers 1 and 2. Hulk plays like a big like story element in those because he's not. I think Marvel stops. Not really allowed to do a Hulk film. But we didn't even talk about that because Paramount owns the rights to the Hulk. This like shared partnership, so Marvel can make a Hulk film. I'm not sure the rights. Like Marvel can make a Hulk film, but Paramount will basically get the majority of the money for it. I don't know how it works. That's why there hasn't been a Hulk sequel. I think Mark Ruffalo's even said that, like, yeah, Paramount won't let us do it, sort of thing, unless they take all the money. I think that's kind of thing, which is a bit stupid. So that's why we get a lot of Hulk storylines in these Avengers films, and obviously we got a bit more on She-Hulk. Yeah, Mil Blonsky and Thunderbolt Ross, absolute standout of this film. Let's rank this film. Let's rank the villains. So villain ranking. At the moment we got Ironmonger, Obadiah Stane, and now we got number 2, we got Thunderbolt Ross and Emil Blonsky. They are, yeah, I enjoy way more than Ironmonger. Name? Fucking just said it. Obadiah Stane. yeah, so Upper Side Stain is going to be knocked down to number 2. Thunderbolt Ross, Emil Blonsky. At the moment, it's in number 1 on my villains ranking. And now let's rank the film. Is it better than Iron Man 1? No. So it's going to go number 2. I'm very interested to see where Incredible Hulk's going to land in my overall MCU ranking once we get through a majority of these projects. So I do enjoy the film. It's just, it's going to be hard to care about this one as much when it doesn't have Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. That's the thing that holds it back. But, you know, I'm judging the film what it is, not what it could be, or what the Edward Norton of it all, because that's not the film's fault. The film's still good. But it's going to be hard when you're like thinking about like future projects and like, well, this sequel, like this doesn't have a sequel. It doesn't like have many connections except for little ways many years later on. So it could be hard to keep it high in the rankings, I think. It's gonna be down towards the bottom, I feel. But we'll see. It was a good film. Really good film. At the moment, it's number 2. We'll see how this makes its way up all down the list as we go. But yeah, definitely Iron Man 1, Incredible Hulk. And next episode is Iron Man 2. I'm very excited to watch Iron Man 2. We got Justin Hammer. We got Where's My Bird? Man, Whiplash. He'll be there. Obviously that film is kind of talked not too fondly because it has a lot of MCU connections that kind of sets up Avengers. It's kind of considered Avengers 0.5 because everything they're trying to set up. Like Captain America stuff. Phil Coulson's in there a bit more. But let's watch it as a film. But that will be next episode. Thank you so much for watching this episode where we talk about Incredible Hulk. Put in the comments below what's your favorite moment from this film. What do you think about Ed Norton's Hulk or the characters in this film? If you rewatched this film recently, put it down in the comments and leave a like. Hit subscribe, please. It's so important you guys subscribe if you're watching this series. It's really going to help out because this is a brand new channel. So at the moment, I'm just talking into the void and hoping people start watching. Because this is only episode 2 of what's going to be a 50+ series when we get to Doomsday. But yeah, I'm going to say peace out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you love MCU as much as I do, please subscribe. This is such a fun ride. I really enjoy rewatching these early MCU projects. But yeah, peace out. Bye.